Hey there, Red Spotters. It's your host, your Alexis J. Soto, with a introduction to this segment that was spliced from a very, very long episode. I have decided to re-upload the Top 10 Movies of 2019 episode, which featured myself, Peter Martinez, and Kyle Lira, into smaller sized, bite-sized, if you will, chunks on YouTube to make it a little less daunting for some to experience this. I understand that we have a tendency to go on very long, so I just thought, what the hell? Let's see what this feels like when we extrapolate one person's entire hour, which is, you know, how long we go on when we do these very, very massive list shows. So I hope you enjoy. And here is the episode.
I have 65 films to get through. So, let's get started. I'll go through about 55 of my honorable mentions. I'm just gonna list them off pretty quick.
Yeah.
If there's any I want to dive slightly deeper into, I'll maybe add a couple more sentences to it.
I want to say quickly though.
Yes.
Look, I know we might react as if we're teasing him. No, you should be applauded for going out of your way to seeing this many movies. Really, I couldn't. I only saw 60, which was my personal best, really, of any year. But damn, that's all I gotta say.
I didn't see 65. This is the amount of films I liked.
You liked, yeah. That's a
In
difference.
reality, it's closer to, I don't know, 70, 80. I don't know. All right, let's start with these honorable mentions. A Little Bada Angel. I really like this film. I'm glad that David put it on his top 10. It's my kind of film. Us. Jordan Peele's Us. Shazam. Paddleton. This is a Netflix film. It's about an unlikely friendship. I really suggest you guys watch it. It's extremely depressing, but it's also uplifting. I struggled with this one, but you know, Avengers Endgame.
Oh, how terrible for you. Just to bring yourself to say that you liked it.
Oh,
wow.
no.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. It's terrible.
Yeah.
John Wick, Chapter 3, Parabellum. He went pew
that's a
pew,
great one.
and I loved it. Godzilla, King of the Monstars. Awesome. I Am Mother. This is a sci-fi Netflix film. Really good. Check it out.
I've heard about that.
Toy Story 4.
That makes your honorable mentions. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't hate it. But, I mean, Annabelle Comes Home also made my honorable mentions because I like goofy, spooky films. Spider-Man, Far From Home. I didn't fall asleep. Midsommar. Okay, real quick. Me and Alexis saw this film in an empty theater. Not like there was a couple of people. Literally empty theater.
It was just you two.
Literally just us two. It was a bit weird. Memorable experience.
There were noises that came out of our bodies.
Yes.
Well, you guys are alone.
Yeah. Moving on. Crawl. This is a fantastic film everyone needs to watch.
This was so surprising. Oh my
I
god.
was actually surprised of how much I enjoyed it.
It's the best kind of B movie. I was so surprised how good it was.
It does harken back to like The Blob and stuff
short,
like that.
sweet, to the point, and does its job oh so well.
Yeah.
This might be surprising. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It's only an honorable mentions. Rocket Man. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Oh yeah, that was good. Yeah.
Rocco's Modern Life. Static Cling.
Okay.
Yeah, I liked it.
Well, shit. I should have put Invader Zim into the Forbes.
Oh, not only okay. I included every type of film. So I even included short films.
Okay.
Yeah. So okay.
Okay.
Ready or Not. I really liked this film.
Yeah.
Ready or Not. In the Tall Grass. Stephen King adaptation. It's a Netflix horror film. El Camino. Dolomite Is My Name.
Yeah.
This is one of those that's kind of like a short film, Guava Island, which was do you guys know what Guava Island is?
No.
It's I think it's exclusively on Amazon Prime. It's kind of like an hour, and it's a short story starring Donald Glover and Rihanna, where he plays all his music as well. Like, it's a musical. It's Denny Maroon, a musician and a dock worker, is determined to pull off a music festival against the interests of the local factory owner. I really enjoyed it.
Why did nobody... Peter, I am insulted that you didn't mention this movie to me.
You should check it out. I really... It's good.
Okay.
Missing Link. It was okay. Doctor Sleep. Doctor Sleep's only hitting the honorable mentions, but I really do love that film. Shadow. This is a foreign film. It's a historical martial arts type film. Really good. Klaus. Come on now. Klaus. Sorry, Klaus. Anima. A one-reeler. So it's like 15 minutes. Directed by Paul Thomas Anderson. Short musical film. It's like 15 minutes. You can find it on Netflix. Check it out. The Wandering Earth, the biggest blockbuster film for China of the past year. It's literally about us, because the sun's dying. The entire world builds massive rockets to push it to another solar system, and it's a giant Chinese disaster film. It's a lot of fun.
I heard about that movie. I didn't know. I wanted to see that movie. I forgot about that. But that was a big box office hit of last year.
You're pretty into disaster films, so I
love disaster films. I mean, I love all of Roland Emmerich's.
Oh
crap,
yeah, his complete crap is so much fun.
Yeah.
This barely counts as a film, like just barely. But I was like, you know what? I enjoyed it. For me, if it comes out on Letterboxd, if like it has its own thing, then I count it as a film.
Right.
This is a video that I recommended Kyle watch, and he got extremely insulted. Has Been Hotel. It's like an adult cartoon. It's basically like the pilot for an adult cartoon. It's really gross and out there, but I was like, hey, I like the fact that it was self-funded. It's these artists trying to put something together. It was cute. It was nice. Booksmart. I love Booksmart. We talked about this. The Irishman. Did not hit my top 10. Yeah. But I really do love it.
I have no fucking idea what's in your top 10 now.
I can't let you.
I can't let you throw yourself away. Speaking of throwing yourself away, I Lost My Body. That was the next on the honorable mention. French animated film. It came out in it was nominated for Best Animated Feature. These next two I saw thanks to our Disney overlords at Disney Plus. They're two animated shorts. So Smash and Grab and Pearl.
Okay.
Cute. They're cute. I like the fact that they're releasing all their little animated shorts on there, because that's kind of what I've been watching. I'm surprised no one's mentioned this film. Knock Down the House. Come on now.
AOC represent.
Represent. Very uplifting.
Netflix film as well. Netflix representing all over the place. We should also mention Netflix best job of anybody else this year.
Netflix is fucking killing it. Next film is Climax by crazy as fuck director Gaspar Noel. It's basically a one shot of a troupe of dancers accidentally took acid and they lose their fucking mind. It's terrifying, and I never want to watch it again. It was good though. The Art of Self-Defense. This is actually
about that one.
Yeah, I actually really enjoyed it. I heard good things and I watched it. It's a dark comedy. So of course, come on now, that's right up my lane. And it's basically a big middle finger to toxic masculinity. Yeah, it's nice. I really want to give this one a shout out. Tigers Are Not Afraid, directed by Issa Lopez. It's a Mexican film slash well, I'll just say right here, come on now, it says it right here, a dark fairy tale about a gang of 5 children trying to survive the horrific violence of the cartels and the ghosts created every day by the drug war. It's really good. It's really good. I highly recommend. Horror Noir, A History of Black Horror. This is a documentary.
I heard about this one.
Yeah, it's really good. Even if you don't like horror, I think you'd be really fascinated and really interested, especially because it brings in a lot of the actors and a lot of the creatives all throughout the years that have been in horror to talk about this, and of course Jordan Peele's in there. They start from the very beginning. They start all the way back at the first Epic. It was about the Ku Klux Klan or whatever, and the way they portrayed black people. I forgot the name of it. It's
The Birth of a Nation.
Birth of a Nation, yeah. They start there and then all the way to modern times, hitting us and all that shit. It's really good. I suggest it. Wind was another Disney short. Saw it on Disney Plus. Really cute, really well. Haunt was a horror film. Dumb and cheesy, but I enjoyed it. One Cut of the Dead. This is a really... If you like twists, holy fuck, does this film have multiple
Wait,
hilarious twists within it. Yeah.
Did they subvert your expectations?
They were very subverted. But yeah, One Cut of the Dead, it's a foreign film. Just to describe it really quick, don't stop shooting. Things go badly for a hack director and a film crew shooting a low-budget zombie movie in an abandoned Second World War Japanese facility when they are attacked by real zombies. Watch it. Another one that didn't hit my top 10, The Two Popes. I really love it. I do. Didn't hit my top 10. Funny enough, for the one that created the one rule, it seems like I'm the only one that included this. Cats. Fuck it. It's in my honorable mentions. I had a blast watching it. Gabriel Iglesias' One Show Fits All. This was a stand-up comedy. It's technically a movie. I like Fluffy. I think he's funny, and I enjoyed his stand-up. The Death of Dick Long. Dark comedy, a hell of a fucking twist. Hustlers. Come on.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Hustlers, really good. Zombieland Double Tap. I really enjoyed it. A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. Also not mentioned by anyone. What the fuck?
Well, there's a lot of them I didn't mention because you were going to mention them, just to be clear. If I say, that one, just know that I have that in my list as well. That was also very good. Yeah.
Just the only real thing with this one is I love the fact that it is one of those biopics that attempts to do something different. Yeah. Not just the standard biopic.
Yeah.
A Hidden Life is about...
A little bit on A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. I got around to watching that about 3 weeks ago. And it was nice. I liked the movie. I liked the message that I was trying to portray. Unlike his performance in Saving Mr. Banks, where he absolutely sunk into the role of Walt Disney, I found it a little bit distracting with Tom Hanks playing.
I
Mr.
never
Rogers.
saw him as Walt Disney. I saw him as Tom Hanks, but different strokes, different folks.
What about in this movie?
I actually think he did a better job morphing into him because I think his natural demeanor better fits Mr. Rogers than Walt Disney. A Hidden Life, it's about an Austrian, I think, who refused to fight for the Nazis in World War II. Honey Boy. This is really good. You guys should check it out. That's, of course, about, what's his name? Shia
LaBeouf's life.
Yeah. 1917. Oh, did you see it was all in one shot? The Joker, baby. It's here for the memes. It's here for the memes.
Well, hold on. I got to call you out. Wait, why is 1917 there?
19 because it was shot in one take.
And Joker's
It
there
was
for the
fine.
memes.
It's here there for the memes. Ad Astra, I watched it. I enjoyed it. It was pretty good. It's pretty good. Birds of Passage. This is a really good. Just to describe it real quick, a violent decade that saw the origins of drug trafficking in Colombia. It's told through the indigenous people that lived there and where it started. It's really good, and it's a different type of drug lord story and the way it's told. It's really really good. Little Women, and Little Women. The women were indeed little, so A plus. Okay, that's the honorables. Let's get
Okay. No.
let's get to the nitty gritty. Okay. Number 10, The Last Black Man in San Francisco. Describe this film really quick, thanks to Letterboxd. Fight for your land, fight for your home. Jimmy Fails dreams of reclaiming the Victorian home his grandfather built in the heart of San Francisco. Joined on his quest by his best friend Mont, Jimmy searches for belonging in a rapidly changing city that seems to have left him behind. When I talk about how it was difficult to see like what I include, whenever it becomes too difficult, I just gotta go with like, okay, what hit me emotionally? What did I connect with? That's ultimately that's what films are for. So you just gotta have to go with that. And this is
and to
film...
be clear, I don't want to cut you off there, but that's exactly the same thing that David said in his show, and I think naturally I agree with that sentiment. Is what hits you emotionally is what you put in the top 10, usually speaking. Yeah,
you have to. It really it's. And just looking at my notes, it's a dreamlike ode to a changing city. It's about a man who feels left behind by his own home, and apparently this is the film debut by Joe Talbot. Oh, and this is an A24 film. I mean, come on. But it's absolutely beautiful, the way in which they captured the city, captured the little nuances of it, and the culture that lives there, and the way it's changing, and the way for a lot of people that used to be there, how they don't feel welcome anymore. They don't feel like it's their home.
They don't relate to it.
They don't relate to it. And I think that's such an interesting phenomenon to examine. And the sort of dreamlike way that this film does that, it is very realistic. It doesn't do anything crazy slick, but there's just a sort of a slight whimsy to it that I think really makes you understand the love that this person has for the city, the characters specifically, and how where they're at now that it's gone. It tackles the ideas of class and community, and I also think it has a lot to say about nostalgia. It's a really interesting film in that way. Like I said, an incredible directorial debut.
Something I want to add. There's an episode of Anthony Bourdain's Parts Unknown where he goes to Vietnam, Hanoi, and how that's where he found himself as like a world traveler kind of thing. And like that's where he got his start, and it's always been a home to him. It was massively different when he first started trekking there, and he said that he expresses his love of like the sights, the smells, specifically the smells. Like there's like this sweet like spice bouquet that like surrounds the city, but like there's also like the deep pungency of like inner city mess that like just intermingles. And how he said that, how everything used to be mom and pop stores and everything like that. But now because of like tourism and everything like that, and how it's become like a huge tourism trap thing, even to where Obama did an outreach thing right there. And they did an interview with him while they were eating noodles. And he said that Hanoi has now become like Times Square. It's become highly Americanized with like a Circle K and stuff like that. And he says like, there's parts of the city where I don't recognize it anymore from when I first arrived here. And I could completely see that.
Yeah. it's you know, when you talk about what we're dealing with in America, you know, gentrification, you know, whether it's good or bad, lean maybe on the bad side.
And I don't want to drag this out too much, but if I wanted to add something, because that's very important. You know, I spent a good year in Washington D.C. If I haven't mentioned that before, but that
you know what? I don't think you have. Yeah.
Watch out, we got a badass over here.
Well, that's not what I meant. Is that look, because I was kind of playing a reporter there, and I had the privilege of covering stories about this issue, and it's plaguing that city as well. A lot of, especially African Americans, are being pushed out of their homes because they're building luxurious condominiums. It's like, it's a story of not just any particular city. It's a story in America. It's happening every single day, and just like everything else, nothing is being done about it.
Yeah. And the idea of what to do about it at a personal level, you don't know. It had a wonderful score. The YouTuber Houston Productions 1 had a great way of describing it as an urban fantasy. It really was a film where at first I saw it, I was like, wow, that was a good film, but it had staying power. And you know, and it left me in a sort of melancholic state, you know, and those are the films that really usually stick with me, and I find myself thinking about them later on. So yeah, this is number 10, Last Black Man in San Francisco. Really good. If you guys haven't checked it out, check it out.
Impact is a hell of a drug.
Yeah. This one I probably won't talk that much about because we've already talked about it quite a bit. Jojo Rabbit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Number 9. Jojo Rabbit. This is a film I thought I would like, but I didn't know, like, I thought it was like, yeah, it's good, but
To what degree?
Yeah, it was surprisingly emotional for me when I watched it. I thought it was very funny. I think it was a good, interesting examination of hate and how it's influenced onto us and how it can be, you know, washed away.
Yeah.
Unfortunately topical, but yeah, topical nonetheless. Everyone was great. It was very funny, most visually interesting of Watiti's films from the ones I've seen. I think there's only one film of his I haven't seen, which was his first film. So
I think it's fascinating with Jojo Rabbit because, like, the way it, I mean, we talked about it in, you know, ad nauseum about like how it discusses hate, but I like how it comes, like, hate is described as this like childish,
it's stupid
emotion.
yeah. It's more of a guttural emotion rather than a well thought out anything, really. So yeah, I won't talk too much about it. That's about all I'll say. But number 9 is in fact Jojo Rabbit. Number 8, Marriage Story.
Holy crap. Okay.
Yeah, Marriage Story. I really liked this film. I actually really did. I think it had incredible lead performances. It was, as much as you could, an unbiased look at love that wasn't meant to be. And, you know, it can be heartbreaking, it can be uplifting, it can tear you in every which way. But it's those kinds of stories that are most interesting to watch and most interesting to examine. And this is what that film was. It had a great Toy Story score.
God.
Which surprisingly fit well with the film. It gave it almost a storybook,
like, kind of whimsical,
storybook quality to a very heavy situation.
Yeah.
And it hooked me from the very beginning. I love these kinds of films. The way I've said this before when we discussed the film, the way it started, the way it just starts with them saying the reasons why they love each other. And like within a small 5-minute period, you fall in love with this couple, and then it quickly drags you out of it as you realize the reason why they're writing this is because they're getting divorced, right? And it's like, boom, It's like perfect way to set you off on this journey. And the
It's
beautifully
a hell of a pivot too.
yeah and the beautifully melancholic ending of they just basically reach an amicable end eventually, and there may be a part of them that still has love for each other, but they're no longer together, and that's okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's sweet and it's well done, and give Laura Dern an Oscar. Oh, they did fantastic.
A thing I must add.
Yes.
To that, the marriage story is I liked it. I really liked it. I as somebody I know you and Alexis, you haven't had the misfortune of having two members of your family be torn apart like this, and that was my mom and dad, and I've seen the bitter aftermath of that event until I was 8.
Yeah, that's most of your young life. Yeah.
I've seen the bitter, like just the arguing, even though that they're separate. I mean, the war doesn't just stop there. At the threshold of, oh, we signed the document. Okay, it's done. The fighting, the war is over. So the character that I sympathize with was not ScarJo or Adam Driver. It was the kid, which apparently you fucking despise.
Yeah, that kid was a shit.
Yeah, but I was having a hard time grasping this kind of a civility kind of thing. It could be just the cynical person of me, but yeah.
No, I mean, obviously, what they went through isn't going to be the same for everyone. This was a very Hollywood look at it. I mean, they were both very rich, famous. Come on, yeah.
Also, I noticed this, for somebody who is struggling financially, how the hell does Adam Driver own a Rolex?
But what does it matter? Wait a minute. No, what does it matter? It's like, I had this discussion with David about these Oscar voters that were fixated on how wealthy these two people seemed. They're celebrities. And also,
that's
what does it matter? What does it matter to the overall consequence?
I'm the only one who included this film in their top 10 list, so chill.
It was number 11 on my list, so back up.
Oh, sure. Okay. I don't know. That was Frozen too. My only point I'm saying is that I understand...
Excuse me for liking films of female empowerment, unlike you misogynistic, Castro-loving...
Castro-loving, oh, okay.
So, Alexis, what is your thoughts on Elizabeth Warren?
Yeah.
You were saying, Peter?
Okay. Though I was literally just responding to what Kyle had said, why it was difficult for him personally to connect to their whole very easy amicableness by the end. And it's well, yeah, it's probably easier for these people to come to an amicable end than it would be for most people. It doesn't hurt my enjoyment because I'm looking at this in the vacuum of the film and the story and these characters. But if you're someone who's, extrapolating from real life, obviously you might go well, come on now. So yeah, if anything, I'm just saying I'm not diminishing Kyle's point of view and his lived experience.
Also, watch out for Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson going forward. That's all I'm going to say.
Is that a threat? What do you mean? I
mean, watch out for them to get even more acclaim for projects that they'll do as far as their acting is concerned. I think, to a big extent, all of us were big fans of their work, but this kind of elevated everyone's perspective on their acting abilities, even though they were kind of already high to begin with.
So yeah, I
Watch
really,
out.
really.
What threat? What the fuck?
That sounded very threatening. You're a Bernie bro. I don't know what to believe. Okay, I don't know
Are you
which way
threatening
it
me,
was
Master
going.
Jedi?
What are we going to do?
Okay,
Yeah,
number
Marriage Story was number 8. Number 7. This might be a bit controversial.
Parasite? No.
No,
The Lighthouse?
no,
Captain Marvel.
no. No. Invader Zim, Enter the Florpus.
Holy shit! Okay, all right.
Invader Zim, Enter the Florpus. I love animation. I believe animation is an often severely, severely overlooked medium.
I can't believe I just had to write down Invader Zim.
Enter the Florpus. You give that film its due respect.
I'm happy. Okay.
I think it goes without saying my favorite animated film of the year. I think it deserves to be released in theaters. I think it was unbelievably funny, perfectly paced. It serves as a great series and a standalone film. I've probably watched it easily the most times out of every top 10 film that I have here.
It is very rewatchable.
It's very rewatchable. There's so many little jokes, and they're all perfectly.
Pieces nice.
Peace is better than chicken rice. Like it's that silly, absurdist, dumb humor, but told in such a smart way that I just love. It's such a good film. It's not like full like film length. I think it's only about an hour.
It's an hour and 10 minutes.
But it uses credits. But it uses every second to its advantage. I really loved it. I think it was an awesome film. The animation was fantastic. It was actually some really fantastic animation. And what I really love with the series creator, what's his name? Shoot. Is he even come out here? Oh yeah, Johonin Vasquez. Everything he makes, he goes 110%. Like he made this film like he was making like a giant feature length film, and I think it shows.
And this behind the scenes stuff, this movie was in development hell for a while.
Yeah, it was supposed to have come out like fucking 10 years ago or some shit.
Yeah, but I'm glad. And also, like, the cast, they sound the same. Like,
yeah, oh yeah, they're voice actors, yeah.
Richard Horvitz kills it and nails it. Like, my favorite, like, shot, it was the teaser, and this sold me on the movie, of him in the toilet.
Where he's just laughing
in the toilet.
It is I Zim. No, it's as dark humor as you can get for a kids show, over the top, funny and ridiculous. It's great.
Even Dim being grotesquely obese.
Yeah.
At the beginning, just obsessed.
Like literally his whole plan to thwart him since the show went off the air was to just wait patiently in his toilet as he got like as he like just sat on his chair and went obese looking for Zim, and then just got all lethargic, and then that's the way he could beat him now because he's incapable.
Moving.
He became a chair. Like, oh my god, it's yeah. So yeah, that was my number 7.
It's so petty. I love it.
Yeah. Oh, it's hilarious. Number 6. This is also gonna make Alexis very happy. Uncut Gems. That's right. You motherfuckers robbed Adam Sandler.
Oh,
How
please. No.
fucking dare you?
No.
This man was robbed. Not only should he have been nominated, he should have won.
You are a crazy motherfucker.
Nothing
what
I
are you
am
talking
saying
about?
is
what are
controversial
you talking about?
at
You
all.
should have won. He had
He
no
should have
business being
won.
talked about. What are you talking about? Crazy.
He should. Nothing I'm saying is controversial.
No,
He was
what
fucking
I am saying,
robbed.
What I am saying is controversial, and
Yes.
I will own that mantle because I don't understand how everyone's lost their minds. How somebody who has the most annoying voice in the world is at a level 10, screeching in your ears. You can listen to that and actually feel sympathy for it. No.
This is how I win. Okay. This is how I win.
That being said, it's a good movie. But no. It was
Adam Sandler was robbed. End
I
of
would
discussion.
rather listen
End
to nails
of
on a
discussion.
chalkboard.
End
Nails
of
on a
discussion.
chalkboard.
Okay,
Oh
anyway,
my
Adam
God.
Sandler was robbed. The tension was amazing. Mwah.
It was.
It was an extremely tense film.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Throughout it was a fantastic look at a gambler as the house of cards he built just came crashing down one after the other. You know, just the way this character just puts himself in the worst, dumbest fucking situations, and the ways in which he digs himself deeper and deeper and deeper in an attempt to get out. And all the while the tension ramps the entire film. It's so good. It's so entertaining.
And when he gets shots in the face, it's the best moment of the film because then I can go to sleep.
Spoilers, you bitch.
Who gives a shit?
Oh my god.
I don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
I
film,
mean,
though.
it's
Good film.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay if you know, I'm used to you having,
Uncut Gems.
bad
Wow.
film takes.
That was, I think, a dishonorable mention. If I never got to that.
Softy Brothers are great and deserve infinitely more recognition.
Then
They
the
were on
Duffer
the
Brothers.
up and
I'm
up.
sure. Yeah. Sure.
Softy Brothers. Yeah.
Did you see what Adam Sandler said? He said, if I don't win an Oscar, I'm going to make the worst movie you're ever going to
Yeah,
see.
which, I mean, he's already done that, so go ahead. I mean,
Which pissed off the Oscar voters. Oh, what snowflakes. Yeah, I really hope these directors get more recognition because they're great. It's such a well-made, slick film. I think it's really smooth in the way it just, the camera moves from shot to scenario while keeping the tension. I think this was a fantastic film. I really think it's entertaining. Yeah, Adam Sandler, you were robbed. I really loved this film. That was my number 6. Uncut
this movie
Gems.
makes me love Joker.
I don't understand this level of animosity towards a great film.
We need to do a review on this movie at some point. A full-length review. That's what we got to do.
Well, you know what? We'll do an audio commentary.
Joker, baby.
We'll do
Not
an audio
that one.
commentary.
Yeah.
Okay, number 5, The Farewell.
Oh, yes. Now that's a film.
Okay, it's a tragic and loving look at a woman caught between two worlds during a difficult place in her life.
One family.
Fuck off. Fuck off. Fuck off. All right, number 4.
Oh, shit.
We have gotten to that point of the podcast. Alexis.
Sorry, go ahead.
Alexis, stop. Okay, continue.
Every fucking time. You'll just say the stupidest thing and you think it's the funniest joke that's ever been told in the history of mankind.
My cheekbones hurt. Oh my god.
The Farewell. An incredibly American story, I have to say. Awkwafina was fantastic, and so was Nai. I would say the actress's name, but I will butcher it, and I will not disrespect Nai that way.
Zhao Zhuzhen.
Zhao Zhuzhen. All right. I'm going with your You better.
I've
not be
heard
letting me
many
people.
people pronounce that name.
Okay,
that's how you
Zhao
pronounce.
Zhuzhen. All right, yes, she was great. She was wonderful.
She was
Awkwafina.
robbed of a Best Supporting Actor Oscar, not nomination, Oscar. That was, oh my god. Yeah.
Yeah, her along with Adam Sandler.
Oh well, Aquafina maybe.
No,
She was
Awkwafina
really
gave a fantastic performance.
Yeah.
Like she really did show her range.
Because she's known for comedy, and this is not necessarily comedic, although it is funny.
Comedians, you really have to. One, you have a lot of suppressed like anger and depression and hurt feelings because to be a comedian is to I think you deal with more rejection as a comedian than you do with simply being an actor and an actress. But also to be a comedian, you're basically acting up there. You're putting on a show, so you develop range. So yeah, she was great. Like another comedian, Adam Sandler. Lulu Wang directed this film with a lot of skill and a lot of heart.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to whatever else she does next.
Real quick though, I think it's actually pronounced Lulu Wang.
Oh, I saw an A.
It is an A, but I think they pronounced
It's
it
pronounced Wong.
Yeah.
But when I see Wong, it's with an O.
Yeah, me too. It could be either or. We're trying our best. We're not Chinese. I'm sorry. Like we're.
Yeah. I don't know, but yeah.
Look Chinese. They sound Chinese.
I'm sorry. No, don't do this right now. We're almost at the end of it. Don't do that.
But it's an American invention.
You don't even like that movie in your own.
Hollow, full of lies. All right, you're number 4.
I didn't even finish talking about number 5
Oh shit!
until
okay.
I was
Sorry.
extremely rudely interrupted.
I'm
As I
sorry.
was saying, Lulu Wang directed with a lot of skill and heart. I loved the clash of cultures, loved the extended cast / family that was portrayed. You could tell it was a very personal and beautiful film, and it really connected with me on an emotional and personal level. I don't know if we've probably talked about this, but being Mexican American, there is some of that.
Similarities
to two different cultures. One wants to build a wall to get rid of you, and the other says you're not good enough, sometimes to be considered one.
Yeah, it's an interesting commentary on the whole culture clash, especially because it's even more extreme with China, because we're talking about the whole Western world, which is very alien to their side of the world.
Yeah, you're on opposite sides of the world, so obviously, it's going to be very different. But yeah, it was surprisingly funny. Just overall, wonderful film.
Another passion project for a great director.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because it was inspired by her own grandmother, as you said.
I think that one was A24 as well.
Yes, yeah. You currently have 3 A24 films.
3 A24 films.
Yeah,
and 2 Netflix.
2 Netflix.
Invader Zim and A Marriage Story.
And 1 Searchlight, formerly known as Fox Searchlight.
1 Fox
Rest in
Searchlight.
Peace. Yeah.
Yeah, so there we go. Okay. Number 4. There has been a murder in Savannah.
I knew this one. This one is amazing because I think, if I'm not mistaken, looking at all the films, even including Mr. Moreno, as I predicted, Knives Out, when you aggregate all the lists together now, that would be the number 1 film in comment as high as it hit. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Obviously.
Yeah.
And I have this.
You're like famous.
Yes, that is a line in the film.
I read a tweet about an article about you.
I mean, that scene really called me out. My first note, literally in all fucking caps, Rian Johnson has never made a less than great film. Yeah. Fucking, I'm spitting facts here, okay?
You're spitting fire.
Sure. I think he's made like 5 films at this point.
We're talking about Brick, Looper, Last Jedi, Knives Out, and what was the other one?
Fuck. It was after Brick. The Brothers Bloom.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's 5, right?
Yeah.
All of them really good. Like he's hitting a perfect batting average. The ensemble cast is perfection, wonderful mystery, and awesome twist. It's an airtight script. Like we've all talked about this, but it's an air fucking tight script. And again, it's so chef's kiss. It's beautiful. The fact that, and yes, this is me being fucking salty and petty. Fuck off. That after people bitched and moaned for about a year about the writing in The Last Jedi, this man wrote the most airtight script I've seen all year, and then got nominated for an Oscar for that script. It is chef's kiss.
I mean, it also was.
I want Daniel Craig to tell me I'm a good nurse.
It's also paired beautifully with the fact that the succeeding film in the Star Wars franchise completely fell apart, making Rian Johnson look better.
It makes
all the
them,
better.
yeah, because then a lot of people look back and are like, oh.
It was honestly the best case scenario for Rian Johnson, even though he was never rooting for a Star Wars movie just to fail. I mean, he would never say that on record. But like, as far as a reputation is concerned and his standing, all of that was the perfect storm for his comeback.
Thank you, Rian Johnson.
Yeah.
As the tweeters like to say.
Awesome bit of storytelling, really. I mean, it's classic cinema to its bare bones, you know, and I adore it for that.
It's classic genre filmmaking with a twist, which is his MO.
This is freaky. I'm just looking at the numbers of the 4 of us. So Kyle has it at number 1 in his list. I have it at number 2 in my list. David has it at number 3 in his list. And Peter has it at number 4 in his list.
Damn. Okay.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. So the film is getting worse with time.
I suspect foul play.
Yeah, it's endlessly fun. It's so funny. I mean, we saw this film together.
Yeah.
I felt bad because at one point I knew I was laughing really loud.
But that was okay because everybody else was laughing hard.
Everyone else was laughing loud too. Like the will reading scene. Oh my god. It's so perfect because, you know, there's so many moving plates. You have all these wonderful actors, some of them scripted, but some of them ad-libbing. And I've watched the film twice. I guarantee you when I watch it again eventually, it's so funny. Like the ad-libbing, I will not eat 1 iota of shit. Like, oh my god. So funny, so good. And like you said,
some cookies? You
want some cookies? It's so good. It's so good. It's just pure entertainment. Entertainment.
Also to have like Daniel Craig say the word donut hole.
You and fucking Daniel Craig and the donuts. Oh my god. I'm
so
moving
barbaric.
on. I'm moving on. My last point, this guy should probably make a Star War. Number 3. The Lighthouse. Another one of Alexis Soto's favorite films of the year.
The Lighthouse is a great film. I don't know why people think that I don't like it. I mean, Uncut Gems is one that gets me upset, but this movie is endlessly interesting to talk about, but not as, I think, interesting to revisit on an actual watch. But okay, we'll just have our disagreement. It's fine. It's a great film. How about that?
I went back.
Yeah.
I went back to watch it.
I think I saw it twice at this point.
You bought the movie almost immediately. Of course you loved it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, obviously. That
brings us to what, 4 A24 movies in your top 10?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. I like to lovingly call The Lighthouse Water The Shining. Because I feel like it's very similar to that film. and the way
that vein.
it's very in vain. The way it's paced, the way it's a descent into madness that isn't necessarily clear. It's a lot more metaphorical in a lot of ways.
It's metaphorical.
It's metaphorical.
It's a metaphor. It's your face. I'm sorry. I'm tired.
Let's go. Alexis is losing his mind.
You're the one that's doing it, you dumb asshole.
I'm not doing anything.
Okay. Fuck. Okay. God damn it. Every time I move it, it moves all the way back up. Robert Pattinson and William Dafoe deserved nominations. They were great. Oh my. William Dafoe's accent in this film kills me. It's so great. It's so great. You know, help me to recollect. How long have we been on this rock? Like, it's the most... Oh, it's pitch perfect with
so
his mustache and his limp.
Outlandish.
Oh, it's great. It's so great. I think it might be the most atmospheric and best shot film on my entire list. Like, it's that well put together. It's that good. I really
also,
do.
the unnerving horn is also really...
I love the horn.
This should have been, I feel, even more so than Ford v Ferrari. This was, I think, a front runner. At least it should have been for sound design. That added so much to the film. Oh my
god, the sound of the waves, the horn. There were so many little things within the film that really added so much to it. I really do think Robert Eggers is a master filmmaker. Like, he really does a masterful work.
Also, it harkened back to classic cinema, you know? And it felt like an old movie, but it had, like, modern-day storytelling sensibilities.
I do have a question,
I
though.
enjoyed that.
I have a question because I didn't sit in with your apparently now infamous and world-renowned commentary of On Stranger Tides and your obsession with mermaids. What did this movie do about the mermaids that answered those questions?
Wait, what do you mean answered those questions?
As somebody who listened to the thing, because I do, in fact, listen, you said that it did with mermaids what Stranger Tides didn't.
Did I say that?
Yeah.
I think I said they did it better.
That's what he was saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, for one, we know where merbabies come from, thanks to this film.
Oh yeah, we get to see what a mermaid's vagina looks like.
I mean, I wasn't gonna be that out and about it, but yeah, we do. I think the mermaid is like really, in this film, very mystical and very like scary as alluring as scary as it is alluring. Yeah.
And Robert Pattinson Copsophiel.
Yeah. Oh, and then like her screech, like harpy screech, like yeah. It's almost perfectly reminiscent of how mermaids were believed to be during those times. And actually, you know, talking about the vagina, one of the reasons why or the beliefs at least of how the whole mermaid myth got started, I don't know, the beluga whale, I can't remember what type of whale it was, but like
I heard this.
Like it from the fin onward, like that, you know, private part region looks very similar to the bottom part of a mermaid. The nether regions to down to the tail, and like it's believed that quick glimpses of that, you know, back in those times started the myths of the mermaid. So yeah. They did mermaids right. It's a Greek tragedy at sea. I don't understand what I saw,
right?
but I loved seeing it. Yeah, oh, so much Prometheus in this. You know, this is, to me, it's a powerhouse filmmaking. I loved it.
I can't wait to see his Viking epic that he's making next.
Yeah, oh my god. Oh, I cannot wait. That's going to be incredible.
And Dafoe is also going to star in that one as well.
Dafoe is a badass Viking. He better be a Viking. Oh my god. Okay, number 2, Parasite.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I only have one note for Parasite because I had assumed that we would have talked Parasite to death by now. And it's just 4 Oscars, motherfuckers. That's my only real note. I honestly, God, I don't even feel like getting into why I love Parasite. Like, we have reviews. Like, I feel like we've talked about it on end.
I
But
said
just-
it a lot already earlier, I think.
Yeah, but just like I obviously love this film.
Mm-hmm.
It's Bong Joon-ho's best film. Bong Joon-ho is a fantastic
Which
director.
is saying something. Yeah. Saying a lot.
He's such a good director.
I need to watch Snowpiercer.
Ooh, man. Yeah.
You do.
Well, you mean you hate Chris Evans, so I don't know how much you'd like it.
I'm
I'm
Not
kidding.
anymore.
I'm kidding. Oh,
not anymore. Believe me,
Whoa.
he is not Captain America in that film.
no, it's not.
It's
But then again, he wasn't Captain America in Knives Out, and Kyle never talks about Chris Evans in Knives Out.
I know. He always goes back to his fucking 007 when he talks about that film.
Well, I would go into.
No.
Okay.
Say your piece, Kyle. What is it?
All right. I would dive into Chris Evans' character, but
What the fuck was that?
Unless it's a spoiler. I have no idea what that was.
What the fuck was that? Is it that late? Oh my
Are you
god!
an ape?
It's Black Panther. Remember?
What?
Remember when they would do that thing where it's like ooh ooh ooh.
Oh yeah. When okay. All right. It's the thing.
That's the thing. Anyway, Parasite is utterly fantastic. It deserved every Oscar it got and more. It was almost the best film of the year for me. Number 1, Toy Story 4. No, I'm kidding. Portrait of a Lady on Fire. Let me just go ahead and read the synopsis real quick. Portrait of a Lady on Fire. I think it's a French film. Yeah. Oui, oui. Don't regret. Don't regret. Remember. On an isolated island in Brittany at the end of the 18th century, a female painter is obliged to paint a wedding portrait of a young woman. Yeah, when it at the end of the day, when making this list, you have to go with your just guttural emotional reactions. Nothing affected me more emotionally this year like this film. If I were to sell it to you guys, it's the lesbian version of Call Me by Your Name. In a real quick couple word synopsis. But I think it's also a lot more than that. It really is a quiet, what I wrote here, a quiet journey through love that can never be. The film really sneaks up on you, in the way it's very soft. It's a very quiet film, and it sneaks up, and it's in the way that it emotionally pulls you into these two people's relationship, and the way that you feel for these main characters. Like the saying goes, like falling in love, it's slowly then all at once. That's the way I felt with this film, where it's like I had watched it because everyone's like, oh, it's a really good film. It was like, okay, I'll add it to my 2019 list and I'll just go ahead and watch it. And I watched it, and again, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, I get what this film is and what it's trying to do, but even then, it just I didn't even realize when it was happening. Just slowly, and then all at once, I fell in love with this film, and just the pure atmosphere, the emotion that drives both these characters together and ultimately keeps them apart is integral to everything that goes on within this film. And you feel every bit of it. You really do. And you don't realize at first that you do, but you really, really do. It's mesmerizing. The score as well is very mesmerizing. The performances are mesmerizing, and if that wasn't enough, the very very end of the film, there's like a I don't know, 3 to 4 minute just still shot as it pulls in on the reaction of a character, and it really sealed the deal for me for what this film was. To me, when I think about my favorite films or the best films, they're the ones that send me on an emotional journey unlike I'm used to, unlike I've ever felt before, or just in ways that it's very hard to do. And this film seemed to pull that off almost seamlessly. It's just such a good film. I want to give props to the actresses. I'm gonna butcher their names. I'm so sorry. Oh God. Naomi Merlant and Adele Haenel. I'm so sorry to you two out there, but yeah, I really butchered your name. And then the director, Celine Sciamma. It's a beautiful film. And again, when making the lists, I had to make the difficult decision. And when it came down to it, this was the film that affected me the most this year. It's the film that had the most staying power. If movies are an empathy machine, then, this film scored 100% on the empathy machine. So yeah, that was my number one. Portrait of a Lady on Fire.
So to recap, the number 10, The Last Black Man in San Francisco. Number 9, Jojo Rabbit. Number 8, Marriage Story. Number 7, Invader Zim. Enter the Florpus. I cannot believe I just said that live. Number 6, Uncut Gems. Number 5, The Farewell. Number 4, Knives Out. Number 3, The Lighthouse. Number 2, Parasite. And number 1, Portrait of a Lady on Fire, along with 55 honorable mentions. That is Peter Martinez's top 10 list, and that is cap on the top 10 show of 2019. As I speak right now on the show, we're clocking in at 3 hours and 42 minutes. I think
we'll edit it down.
I think it's fair to say we're eager to wrap it up. It's probably our longest show, but one thing before we go, I think we would all agree, what a tremendous year in film. I think all of our lists, we would fight for them in these movies to the death, as much as we care about movies. And if there is one film, we didn't dwell on this, there's no need to, but if there's one film that I would say was the disappointment of the year, it is without question Star Wars. Am I right?
Yeah.
Of the year, 2019, the most disappointing movie.
Yeah, I would say so.
Star Wars came out last year?
Right. So, Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker wins our collective unanimous dishonorable mention.
By the way, guys, did I mention I love cats?
Oh, I think Cats can. That is an honorable mention. I think Cats is the experience of the year. How about that?
Our favorite movie-going experience collectively together.
It might be.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think it is.
Yeah, it
And
probably
we all
is.
say, oh,
Yeah.
I thought I'd never.
Even
So.
with the shit crowd.
I know, right?
We need
They're
to see
so
it with the
boring.
most rowdiest crowd possible.
I
We
want
need to get drunk.
I want to watch it with some theater kids. Like, come on, yeah.
Yeah. Any last words before we go to a close on anything that was mentioned here?
Let's vote who had the best list.
We're about to hit hour 4.
I'm kidding. I'm good.
Kyle?
Good night, 2019.